I feel like nowadays it's very common to talk about green flags and red flags and attachment styles and toxic relationships, and it feels like having a healthy relationship, it's the ultimate goal in your love life. But what happens if you actually have a healthy relationship but you still feel triggered and anxious? Hi, I'm Paula, the girl that sits here every Tuesday to just talk about things that happen to all of us but that we don't talk about enough. And it's been a long time since I talked about love for the last time. So today I wanted to talk about what happens when it seems like you found a great love but you still feel anxious and triggered and don't really know what to do with those feelings or what's wrong or why you're feeling that way. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong with you and you are not unlovable or unable to love. Your body is just responding to situations that you perceive as possibly dangerous. Relationships are hard and they keep getting harder as we accumulate heartbreaks and unlock new traumas. Experiencing anxiety during a relationship is more normal than you think, especially if you've had hurtful experiences in your previous relationships. Your body is meant to keep you alive and well, so it's normal and expected that it starts setting alarms whenever you find yourself in a dangerous situation, like a relationship might be. Being in a relationship, you have to trust a lot, and that puts you in a very vulnerable position. So it's normal that you feel scared, you might end up getting hurt, or you might think the whole thing is a lie and they're just pulling a prank on you. I've been there, don't worry. So if you're in a relationship with a really good partner that has never given you any reason not to trust them, or simply if it's hard for you to build and maintain healthy relationships because you just can't seem to trust people or they make you really anxious, let me reassure you that it's not your partner's fault, and it doesn't mean that you are unable to love them or that you're just a flawed person and you're meant to be alone forever. This likely happens because bad experiences have shaped your way of thinking into believing that relationships are a dangerous thing, or maybe your fear of things going wrong in the future stop you from actually feeling free to explore relationships, and that makes your body be in a state of alert just so you can be prepared in case any of those bad things you imagine happen, kind of like an anxious attachment style. So now you know you're not broken and it's actually possible for you to feel in peace while being in a relationship. You just need to work on it. So how do you get there? Well, it's very important that before making an active effort into changing your attachment styles and your way of participating in a relationship, you think where these patterns of behavior are coming from. Are they coming from your childhood? Are they coming from past experiences with past lovers? Are they just coming out of fear for all the things you think might go wrong? Where are they coming from? And what can you do to stop overthinking those things? Or just what can you do to heal all of those bad things and all of those wounds other people have caused you in the past? I'm not going to go very deep on that today because I have another video in which I talk about that, so I'm going to leave it in the description box in case you want to go and check that out. And also it's important for you to think if you feel ready to start changing those patterns of behavior, because sometimes even if they make us anxious or they make us feel bad, we feel comfortable and safe inside our bubble of fears, and sometimes getting out of that is really scary. So you don't have to push yourself into changing just because you think that's what you should do. If you're not ready, it's okay. You just take your time and try to think if you're ready to make a change and if you want to make that change. Naturally, this is a very personal process, and there's not really much other people can do for you if you still feel like you can trust those actions. So this is a process that you have to do with yourself, but maybe you are currently in a relationship. So it's important that if this is your case, you take some time to think if you want to make this change and this process while being in the relationship, or if you would like to have some time with yourself and maybe just not be in a relationship while trying to work on these things. So if you are in a relationship and you want to continue being in the relationship while working to have a safer attachment style, definitely the most important thing you have to do is talk about this with your partner. Just tell them exactly how you feel and reassure them that it's not about them and that it's not their fault that you are feeling this way, or maybe if it is, you can tell them so they can start changing that. But if it's not, then make sure you actually tell them and give them that reassurance. Remember that in a healthy relationship, your partner is supposed to support you, and all of the people involved in that relationship are meant to work to find ways in which everyone can feel comfortable and safe. So don't hide your feelings from your partner. After all, why are you with someone if your feelings are not safe with them? Now, this applies for everyone, doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not. It is normal to feel triggered about great things happening in our lives when we are used to the bad things, especially if you're the type of person that thinks they don't deserve to be loved, or if someone has broken your trust in the past. But the fact that it's normal doesn't mean that you have to keep feeling this way forever. I'm not going to come here and give you a checklist on how to build a secure attachment style, because there are plenty of YouTube videos out there that you can go and check if that's something you're interested in, or if you can afford it, you can also talk about it with your therapist. But I am going to tell you the most important thing that you need to start building in order to have better relationships, because this particular thing is going to be the foundation of your process in getting better and trusting your partners and just feeling a little bit less anxious around relationships and those type of interactions. The most important thing you need to start working on is in your self-worth. And I'm not talking about the self-worth that other people think you have. So this is not about making other people perceive you as someone worth it. I'm talking about how you perceive yourself. It's important that you are aware of how much you're worth for you to know the things you are going to tolerate and you're not going to tolerate from a partner and from other people in general. You need to know your worth in order to start building boundaries and to know when it's time to cut relationships, or when it's time to give someone another chance, or when it's time to start trying something new. Overall, knowing your self-worth is the main tool for building healthy relationships, because it's what's going to help you stop tolerating other people's bullshit, and it's going to help you stop being afraid of cutting off a relationship with someone because you know that you deserve more. You deserve a healthy love even if you don't believe it, and you can find a healthy relationship even if it doesn't seem like it. You don't have to believe everything your head tells you, and those catastrophic scenarios that you're always thinking about, they're most likely not true. So I highly encourage you that you start working on yourself. Get to know yourself, understand where all of these patterns or behavior are coming from, work on accepting that you deserve good things. And I'm not going to come here and say that cliche thing of nobody can love you until you don't love yourself, because I feel like that's not true. Like, you deserve love even if you hate yourself. But it is true though that the more you love yourself, the easier it is going to be for you to find people that love you that great as well. Because the more you know you deserve, the less bullshit you are going to tolerate from other people. So working on yourself and on knowing your worth will help you notice the green flags and the red flags, not only in other people, but also in yourself. And you can start making changes around the way you interact with other people. Maybe if there are things about yourself that you need to change, you can also work on that. And in the same way, expect other people to work on their red flags as well, just so you can have a healthy relationship. Overall, it's easier to build healthy relationships when you know your self-worth, because that way you are going to identify which things you are going to be willing to tolerate or not from other people. That's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. I send you a massive hug. Remember that you are not alone, and see you next week.